Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are going to be talking about the About Face foundation. So this is the Performer Skin Focus Foundation. I've had this for a couple weeks now and I've definitely formed my opinion. Hopefully this will be a fairly straightforward, pretty short video, but I do tend to ramble a lot, so we'll see. And if you're new here and this is your first video, hi, my name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist, lover of makeup, with a definite soft spot for indie makeup and high-end makeup, which this isn't really either, but I was really excited about this launch. And I tend to be pretty analytical. I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to the content I make, be it reviewing a new product or talking about things I already know and love. And I have new videos every week, so I'd love that. Okay, so before I begin with the actual review, I did want to apologize that I didn't have a video up last week. I haven't had a week that I skipped for quite a while, but I did post to my community page a couple times. I was sick. Everybody was very sweet and understanding. I got a lot of very sweet messages, comments there, and some messages on Instagram. But yeah, I got sick, not this last week, but the week before that. The video where I tried this one up, and because I filmed that over the weekend or so. And I got sick with just, I don't know, really bad cold or something. It definitely wasn't the flu, didn't have a fever, I don't think it was COVID. I had that in September and I got my booster again recently, but that definitely knocked me out for a few days. And then it seems to reactivate all of my long COVID things, which have never really gone away, but they had been getting better. And so last week was rough. I didn't film anything. I didn't really wear makeup most days. I did a couple days where I had like a little bit of energy, but like working was hard. It felt like I was working on sleeping pills. I was so tired and I came home and basically crashed. So if you ever want like a get ready with me where I talk about my experience with long COVID and what the last few years have been like, I could do that. I just haven't yet. I didn't know if people would want to hear about that. But I have talked to some subscribers that have also been dealing with similar issues. So if you are interested in that, let me know, and I can definitely do that. I do have a long list of things that I'm now behind on, including some like get ready with me things. So I can always add that to the list. But long story short, yeah, I already have, like I've talked about that before, I have fibromyalgia, I have chronic pain, and then the long COVID is like fatigue, worse pain, all of that. So the last couple of weeks have been rough, but I am feeling better. Home from work, had dinner, all of that, and finally sitting down to film, and very excited to get back into this routine. So let's get into the review. So I have had this now for a couple weeks. We're gonna go over the basics of like what they claim for the foundation. I have footage from at least one wear test to include, and then we'll talk about my experiences with so far and what I think. What they claim for the foundation. So this is the About Face, foundation. This is the Performer Skin Focus Foundation. I have the shade M2 Olive, which is it's a decent shade match. It's not like perfect, but it's pretty good. And I was really intrigued by this because they had so many olive undertones. So they had really pale olives, medium olives, darker olives. A lot of brands tend to do like olive undertones in like the medium dark to tan range and nowhere else. So was very excited to see like a good shade range for an affordable foundation. So this is $22 with a bunch of skincare ingredients in it. So all of the claims made me very excited for this. So their claims, like their description, it says, center stage skin, this Cushion E formula is packed with 17 plus skincare ingredients to maintain moisture, help even and smooth your skin with every wear. It is a skin first hybrid foundation that is buildable, breathable, and wearable for up to 12 hours, and I have worn it for 12 hours twice, with cake-free, seamless feel and a natural soft focus finish. And that's what really got me, was a soft focus finish, which generally means skin-like, demi-matte, kind of blurry, which is my preferred kind of base finish in general, either from the foundation or from foundation, concealer, and the other products that I use. And this says optimize your skin with every wear. And then it says when your other foundations leave you wanting, this will be there for you. It's 45 multifaceted shades to match all skin tones, $22. You get 32 mils So 1.08 fluid ounces, which is a little bit more than average, which is really nice. And then like the call out like hero ingredients are blue agave, which they say will smooth your skin, hydrate it, and plump it. Wintergreen, which will calm blemishes and balance your skin. And then chlorella, which has vitamins for your skin barrier, they say. And this is vegan, cruelty-free. And then they say that it comes in a modular bottle with a large doe foot. So this is the same size and shape, well not size, this is the same shape as their liquid eyeshadows, and I think their lipsticks and stuff come in the same component, just a giant version of that. And it does feel nice in the hand. I will say it's already, like the words are already coming off, and this has just been sitting in I have a plastic bin for all of my base products, and it's just been sitting there and pulling out when I need it, set it on the counter, and the performer name is already peeling off, which I don't love, but it does feel nice. And then, you know, you unscrew and you've got a big doe foot. The doe foot is nice. It is nice to kind of draw on your face. I wish it was a pump. It would be a little more sanitary, and just, I don't love that it's a doe foot. I don't mind it for concealer because you go through them faster. I don't really like it for a foundation, I now know. And they also claim that in a consumer study of 30 subjects, that there's significantly decreased sebum after 8 hours of wear. Sebum is your oil production. So that's all great, and why I was really excited about this. And it seems to be getting a lot of hype. TikTok, social media in general, all about this, very hyped. And I've seen nothing but glowing reviews on TikTok and like Instagram and stuff, but those, I wouldn't really call most of those reviews because they are short. They don't include a wear test. Maybe they include one. Like I saw one where she's like, you know, a foundation review is not a review without a wear test. And then she wore it for like 4.5 hours. That's not a wear test, especially on something that claims you can wear it for 12 hours. So I've done 2 12-hour wear tests and like a couple 5-hour and a couple other ones. And I don't hate this. And I think some people will really love this, but this is not for me. And I'm actually gonna try to return this. I don't know, I do know they do returns. I just don't really know about Face's return policy. I've returned most of the other products that I've tried from them, but that was at Ulta. So I need to look into that when I'm done filming this. So some details about me. I have what I would call pretty balanced skin. It's not too dry. I don't really ever have dry skin, even in the winter. And I don't really have oily skin either. I don't really like the term normal. My nose gets pretty oily. I will say that. My forehead doesn't. Like, it's not even an oily T-zone. It's like an oily nose. And then it can feel a little dry around here from like shaving and stubble, but that's more the hair and the shaving, like the fact that a razor goes on my face every day versus the skin itself. But with that, I tend to like light to medium coverage, pretty low coverage, skin-like finish. So when I saw soft focus finish, olive undertones, I was very excited. I do think that their claims of buildable coverage is accurate. I think you can shear it out pretty well, and it is kind of a light to medium coverage to start, and you can build it up. I think the cake-free aspect of their claim is also pretty accurate. What I don't think is accurate is the soft focus finish. So I don't think that this is a very skin-like finish for me. So I know Kaki just did a video trying this, and she says that it's amazing, and she compared it to one of her Chanel foundations. She does have drier skin, especially in the winter. Like, she really loves that, like, I forget the name of it, but the Chanel foundation that comes in like a jar, that's like her winter foundation because it's more hydrating. So I feel like you are gonna really like this if you have drier skin. If you have normal to oily skin, I don't know if this is good for you. So I have done multiple wear tests, like I said. I'll insert some clips here. So I checked in at like 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, and then 12 hours. And for that one, and it was not great. I really liked the way it looked in that first impression video that I posted on the 17th. And I wore it over the Surratt primer, which is like another soft focus. It's my favorite primer. It's kind of a not really matte, but like soft focus, skin-like primer. It gives you that blurred demi-matte kind of appearance. And I thought it looked really great on that. I wore it for about 5 hours that day and it looked pretty good. The first time I tried it, it looked wet. No matter what I did, I set it with like a big layer of powder and still looked wet. The second time I tried it that day, I've tried it a bunch of different ways. I haven't tried it with a sponge because I don't use sponges, but I've tried a dense brush like the Sonia G Fusion. What is that? The Jumbo Base. That is a large dense brush. And I've tried it with smaller brushes. I've tried it with the Lisa Eldridge more paddle shaped brush. And I've tried it with a very fluffy brush where I did like light buffing layers. And I feel like I get pretty much the same finish for most of them. The amount of coverage changes, but the finish doesn't, which is actually a good thing if you like the finish. But the only time I've liked the way my skin looked was with the Surratt primer. And I don't think, I was talking to Steven about this, Steven Ford, like I don't think you should need a $100 primer to get a $22 foundation to look good. So this is, and Tom, Hope Mess Tom, one of my friends, we talked about this a few times, they've posted some clips on Instagram where they're also having, they have more oily skin than me, but they are also having like, it is just wet on them. And I don't think that it, for me, it doesn't seem to set at all. Like I will set it with powder and it'll look pretty good. And then within like half an hour or so, it doesn't look like I set it at all. And then by a few hours later, like the 4-hour mark, it was shiny. Like I was glowing. I looked not like healthy skincare glow, but like wet, oily, just glowy. And then I set, one day I didn't set it. Again, the other day I did at 4 hours. I set with the Kosas powder then, because that's what I had at work. And it looked better for a little while, and then again, looked really, really greasy. I tried this with the Surratt primer with no primer, not even skincare, like just nothing. I've tried it with my moisturizer as my base. I've tried it with the Milk primers, the matte and the Hydro Grip, because those are the only primers I have. And I like it with the Surratt, and that's pretty much it. Today I used the matte, the Pore Eclipse matte primer from Milk, and you can see I've only been wearing this for a few hours because I was too tired this morning to wear it to work. So I wore it when I got home. I've only been wearing this for a little while, and it's already very glowy. Like this looks like I just put fresh skincare on, which is not a bad look, although I know it's gonna get worse after this. But it's not what it says. Like it says it's gonna give you a soft focus effect, which implies kind of a blur, skin-like finish. Soft focus generally has a bit of a blur implied. This is not that. This is a dewy, like glowy foundation. This is very glowy. You can see under my eyes where I use the House Labs concealer, it looks just like skin. It doesn't look overly matte, just looks like skin. And everywhere else is very, very glowy. And this is with a very mattifying primer and powder over it. And I didn't use like a setting spray that has like, I didn't use like a Fix Plus or anything like that. This is just powder. And it just seems to eat it and then like unset itself. And so like when I watched her video a couple days ago at work, and she was saying like, she put it on, she was like, and I can feel like, I can tell that it's like sinking into my skin and setting. And I was like, I wish I had that, because it does not do that for me. The day that I wore it for that long wear test, it transferred everywhere. And that's my big thing. I like this kind of glow to the skin, I'd be okay with, but the fact that it's like getting really shiny and transferring on everything is the problem. I was wearing a blue hoodie, the one I was wearing in my last 2 videos actually. And there was one point where I was at work and I moved my head and like, I like turned my chair or something kind of quickly and my hood kind of went whoop. and it hit the side of my face. I didn't have, you know, I used a little concealer down here for some razor burn. I didn't really today, but it wasn't like down here touching the hood, just like rubbing up against it. It was like the hood smacked the side of my face here, and I had foundation all over my hood. To go into the bathroom and try to wipe it off so that I didn't have like a weird foundation streak on my hood. It did it twice that day, and I was not pleased about that. And then when we went to the grocery store after work, that was around the 9 hour mark. I wore a mask for 20 minutes in Trader Joe's because I just got over being sick. Everyone's sick. Lots of things are going around. It fully removed all of the foundation that was anywhere the mask was. Not like just my nose, but like this entire part of my face, zero foundation. I think I have a clip of it here. It was just fully gone. And then in the 12-hour mark, I have a little clip of that. I'm like touching my face and it's coming off on my finger as I touch my face. Let me see. I'm not gonna wear this forever after that. Nothing on my hands, paper towel. And it's not, okay, it's not coming off now. Oh no, there's definitely some foundation on my hand. I don't know if it'll show on camera, but there's definitely like, when I look at my finger, I see a little bit of foundation. I don't have anything on my forehead, so I'm not gonna rub there. I just have it, you know, where I need it for the redness around here and my jawline. But like, I'm not rubbing hard. Like I'm barely touching and I'm getting some. Let's see what happens if I use. Okay, very minimal transfer. You can see there's a little bit of brown on the paper towel now. So, I mean, it's also only been like an hour and a half. Maybe an hour since I put this on. And that was the end of the day, but it still shouldn't be just transferring like that. So the milk primer definitely helps kind of help it grip to the skin. You can't wear it without some kind of mattifying primer, at least I can't, but then it still gets very glowy. Like I like a natural glow, but it just gets too glowy, and I feel like it's too finicky to use. I'd much rather just use my Pat or my House Labs or my Lisa Eldridge, or just use concealer or my Surratt. Especially if I want like low coverage, I'm just gonna use the Surratt. But if I want more coverage, I'm gonna use the Lisa Eldridge or the House Labs or something. I just don't think it's worth the effort for me. So, and then when I wore it, to jump back, I feel like I'm rambling, but when I wore it with just skincare, like moisturizer and stuff, it was very, like I kept powdering and it just kept like looking like freshly wet. I definitely need some like mattifying primer. Like I have to really work to keep it matte, and I'm not working to keep it matte. I'm working to mattify it to keep it skin-like, and that's just not what I expected from this, and it just makes me disappointed. So I don't think this is a bad product. I do hate that all of the reviews I'm seeing are like putting it on and then immediately like, wow, this is amazing. I do think the shade range is great. I think the price point is great. I think the undertones are great. I think this is gonna be a really perfect formula for a lot of people. It's just not for me. So if you are like me, I'm just looking at this now, brown paper towel sitting here. If you are like me and you have normal to oily skin or combo skin or any of that, if you're not dry, I would avoid this. Or buy it from Ulta where you can return it. Because I just worry that they're selling a finish that you're not actually getting. And that's really my only problem with it, is I just don't think it's from my skin type, and it's not the finish that they say it is. So I think for people who want a really glowy base, or who want and need that like extra hydration and want more hydration from the skincare aspect of it, I think it's a really great choice. And it's just one of those things where it's like most makeup products are not a bad product or a good product. They are a bad product or a good product for you. And this is just not a good product for me, but this could be great for you. So I think if you're one of my subscribers or someone watching this that does have drier skin, I think it's worth checking out because does have some good skincare ingredients. It's got a great shade range and it's a good price. But I think anyone else, just proceed with caution if you haven't already tried it. The only other About Face product that I've kept that I've liked is the Cherry Pick Lip Butter, which is what I'm wearing right now. And I don't love this either. I think it's too pigmented and the smell is too strong, so I like it as a sheer layer, but not enough that I want any more of them, you know? I much prefer other formulas like this that are like a little more sheer to buildable. So I just don't think About Face is a brand for me. For context, I did try the fractal glitters, a few of the match eyeshadows, and I think one other thing. Oh, and the shadow sticks. And I hated all of them. The shadow sticks were dry, even the shiny one had no shine to it, and didn't want to blend over primer or with natural or synthetic, and didn't last on me. They creased really badly, so they were not long wearing. The matte shadows were kind of the same, like didn't want to build on itself, was kind of patchy. If I didn't wear an eye primer, it wouldn't last at all. It just creased and looked awful, but didn't really want to work with primer either. So like, it was just not a formula for me. So I just think I like About Face as a brand in concept. I think they have a good price point. I like that she lowered the prices a couple years ago and said, I want this to be more affordable and attainable. I think she has really cool colors of products. I just don't think it's a brand for me. So let me know what you think. Have you tried this yet? Have you picked it up? What are your thoughts? Are you loving it? Are you hating it? I'd love to know. Like I said, I'm gonna try to return this because the shade is pretty good, but it's not good enough for me to fuss with it when I have other products that I love. And I don't like to keep things just because I bought them. I'd rather keep things that I love and will use. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, I'm really sorry I haven't had many videos lately, but hopefully I'll be back to a normal schedule soon. I think this video will go up on Wednesday, as long as I can edit it tomorrow. And then I'll hopefully have another video like Saturday or something, and then start getting back into a normal schedule all next week. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. It really, really helps. And like I said, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you all in my next video.